Hello and welcome to Pat Bear's Anime Club, episode 37. It is recorded live on Twitch. I've got some audience folks here. They're going to probably be asking questions here and there if they'd like to, or they can just be hanging out. They can also be letting me know. They will be letting me know if they're watching shows that maybe I'm not watching, because there's a lot out there. We will be covering the winter 2021 season of anime. There are some current shows. There are some leftovers, and there are some ongoings that aren't going to be listed here. And I'll quickly just go over the ongoings before we get into all the new shows and the seasons, the continuations of the shows, I should say, like second season, third season, that kind of thing. Black Clover. I'm personally taking a break on Black Clover because it's getting well, one, they're catching up to the manga, so I don't know what's about to happen. But two, things are definitely popping off, but I'm just going to take a break from it because I'm a little burned down on Black Clover. It was an ongoing, and there was a period where there weren't a lot of shows. It was great to have an ongoing, but the filler arc the end of last year really bummed me out and kind of turned me off from the show. Also, they decided to make a character overweight for laughs. Already a joke character that didn't need another element of a joke character. And that just kind of bummed me out. It doesn't help that it was one of my favorite characters in the show. To suddenly be overweight as a punchline just kind of rubbed me the wrong fucking way. And so I'm taking a break on Black Clover. One Piece I'm still watching, but not every week. I love it. We're getting ready for some big fights. We're about to catch up to a spoiler, I will not say, but it's a big event that happened in the manga that's on the way. Um, let's see. Boruto, I'm not watching Boruto. I don't care. I'm not watching Boruto. I If I wanted to watch Naruto, I would watch Naruto. I've watched all of Naruto. I do not need to watch Boruto, the continuing adventures of how great my dad was. That's just my feeling right now. Um, and what other ongoing is there? I think those are all the ongoings. And like I said, I watched a bunch of them, but I did not. Kind of taking a break for most of the ongoings. Oh, there's an ongoing because I don't know when it's going to end because they ordered like a lot of episodes of it. Anime Capybara-san is a 2-minute anime that airs Thursday nights, like right before I stream, and it is about a nature preserve that has a lot of capybara, and there's one main capybara called Capybara-san, and a bunch of other cappies, and it's just light and cute and fun, and definitely for kids, but like, I don't know, it's fun. It's good. So Anime Capybara-san. If you want to watch a lot of those marathon through, I can't remember how many episodes have been out, like 17 or so. It's very good. Anyway, now we're going to get into it. It's time to get into it. Let's talk about the shows this season. And unfortunately, the first show I have to talk about is a show that I am not watching. Should I be watching 2.43 Senin High School Boys Volleyball Team? I don't know. One thing I will say, we're using AnyChart.net. I don't. All of the rankings you're going to see in AnyChart are based on users, which is a small portion of the people that use the site actually rank things and favorite them and vote on how they like them or what they think of them. But that is a small subset of the people that use AnyChart, which is also, compared to the world out there, very small. So I don't usually take a lot of stock in, it's 60% positive. That could mean anything. It could mean that most of the users that are voting on this stuff aren't, fans of sports anime. And I'm not a huge sports anime guy. I say that, and occasionally I have very much enjoyed sports anime. But after spending most of the year marathoning through Haikyuu, all of the seasons of Haikyuu, and the OVAs and the movie, which I didn't need to watch, but I did, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I, want to fall in love with more volleyball boys. So, right now, no thanks. Could change in the future. Here's a show that does not have a streaming release, and I wish it did. Akatsu Planet. I really want to watch. Now, you'll say, Pat, I thought you didn't like idol shows because you're going to keep saying you don't like idol shows as we scroll down and we come across other idol shows. You're going to say, I don't like idol shows. And that's true. But also, this is a show that's half live action, and then when the main girl becomes the idol, she takes over the position as an idol, it becomes anime. And that sounds fucking rad. It's like Gem if Gem was in an idol group and not a pop rock group. Or you could also say that it's I had another example of what it is and it's slipped my mind. But it's like Hannah Montana if Montana became like a VTuber. Uh so I kind of want to watch it even if I'm not super into idol shows cuz it just sounds wild. The trailer's great. I watched the trailer. As I said, I wish that someone had picked this up. I totally understand why they didn't, but wish they did. Okay. Yeah, we're going through alphabetical, if you couldn't tell. So yeah. So if you're the shows you watch are in the lower letters of the alphabet, it'll take a little while to get there, but we'll get there. I am not watching the final season of Attack on Titan. I bounced off Attack on Titan when it became clear that the show, what I wanted from the show and what the show wanted to present, were two very different things. Now, we will somewhat ignore the nationalist views of the creator for a moment. We don't have to ignore that, but we can for a moment because even beyond this person's beliefs in politics, which I strongly disagree with, and the fact that the whole idea for a Titan, this big, huge thing, is because one time the mangaka got accosted by a drunk foreigner. Uh, yes, Jabe says, do you mean about the Titan reveal? So, yeah, the point where I broke off of my feelings about Attack on Titan, where it went in one direction and I went in another, was the part where the main character turned into a Titan and other people turned into Titans and then turned back into humans and then turned into Titans. And maybe that's the better show than the show I wanted. I can't say. I can only tell you that the humanity's last hope against these creatures was the thing I was interested in watching, not the, well, we're doing that, but also some of them turned into, some of these people turned into Titans. And I was just like, I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I will say this. If this is your show, or any of the shows that I'm not interested in watching, because I bounced off of them, or I'm just not interested in starting them, the world is vast. Anime is vast. There's so many genres of things. There's one show that we're going to talk about tonight that I'm like, I don't want to know. I probably don't want to know you if you love it because it's torture porn, the anime, and I think if that's like your favorite show this season, that's gonna be a deal breaker of us being cool with each other. But other than that, like there's a bunch of shows I just don't like that are great. But like I'm not gonna watch. There's another show coming up in here that I just like. I know is brilliant, but it's not for me. So that's what happens. Yeah, was way more into it before Titan Reveal and pre-Basement. Still enjoy it, but not as much as before. Yeah, and you're totally welcome to enjoy it. But yeah, it's not giving me what I would look for. Like I said, there's one show this season that like if it's your favorite show, fucking yikes. But like if you love Attack on Titan and you're psyched for this last season, hell yeah, enjoy it. Let's continue. Okay, so Back Arrow. Um, it's the only show this season, one of two shows this season that involve mechs, and I'm not watching either of them. One's Exo Armor, so I don't really count it as mechs. This is mechs. These are main characters piloting, putting on these wristbands and piloting mechs. It's got a lot of problems. The first being that the main the protagonist has memory loss, and that's just not fun for me. I don't enjoy memory loss as a trait of the main character. It's also weird looking. It's not bad. It's just it's I don't understand why there's this whole like cowboy theme in some of the characters, but some characters have like a Japanese theme, some have a Knights of the Round Table theme, some have some have a cowboy theme, and all the cowboy girls just weirdly enough don't have much shirts on. It's just weird. Um, so I'm gonna tell you why it's called Back Arrow, and it's called Back Arrow because the mysterious man with no memory is called the Bakiro, which is like a insult, a bakiro, insult, a fool. He's called a fool, and he goes, "Cool. Well, that's if I'm a bakiro, that's my name, Back Arrow." And that's I don't know. I kind of love and hate that. Like I very much love and hate that that's the name of this character. I think the mech design is pretty cool. I mean, will I buy one of these if they make model kits of it? Because I think Bandai's going to. Yeah, I know they're making figures. If I might buy one of the model kits. I think they look pretty cool. But yeah, I don't care about the mystery, and I don't care about any of the characters. I watched 2.5 episodes, and I was like, yeah, I kind of don't want to keep watching it. That's where we're at. I didn't finish the first season of Beastars, and if that's your thing, hell yeah, enjoy it. Like literally enjoy. I didn't finish the first season. Um, uh, I think for a computer generated show, I liked it. I didn't love it. I don't. Yeah, I just kind of fell off of it and never finished it. But if this is your thing, enjoy more Beastars. Also, if you think this might be your thing, you're probably watching it, and you don't need me to tell you to enjoy it because I feel like people who are into Beastars know they're into Beastars. Beastar season 2 is out now. Yes. So here's the other thing. I can't tell you if it's out in US on Netflix or not because I don't have Netflix right now. So I cannot tell you if they are waiting and if it's in jail and only available in Japan, but it's out on Netflix Japan. So I don't know. I cannot tell you for certain. So I apologize. Oh, what website are you using? I want to check it out. Oh, so I'm using anychart.net. I will put the website in there. I've done a little modifications. I made the screen dark, but anychart.net. It's like anime. It's basically anime list made a chart kind of graph thing, but it's tied into AnyChart. Or AnyChart's tied into anime list, animelist.co. No problem. But yeah, this is a great site. The airing tab up in the top right is really awesome. Will this show up on here? Yes. So you can hit by season. You can look ahead into seasons. They'll put the information they have there. But they also have an airing, which will just show you like everything. It also includes Chinese animation, which is cool that it adds that. It doesn't add that in this. But yeah, if you just want to be like, what's out and available. Uh, okay, yeah. So Beastars, as I said, I don't know if this is available in U.S. Netflix because I don't have Netflix right at the moment. I'm gonna probably get it again. But yeah, if you like Beastars, there's more Beastars for you. Bottom tier character Tomozaki. The whole point of this show, I guess, is to witness this gamer guy try to gamify high school. And I think part of it is watching this guy like fall and probably fall in love with the girl that's helping him, or maybe not. Um, but I don't want to wait around to find out if this guy becomes a better version of himself, or if the person he is actually good and he just needs to apply himself because I don't like him and maybe I'm not supposed to like him. I don't know if I'm supposed to like him or not. Maybe I'm supposed to root for him, but I didn't root for him after 2 episodes, so I decided I wasn't going to keep watching it. Harrison says, very neat site, definitely going to help me know what animes are coming out now. Yes, this is incredibly helpful to kind of like plan your week out or like especially the airing thing, you'd be like, oh, I missed the show that came out last week. Because Funimation's calendar is pretty good, but Crunchyroll's calendar is terrible. Um, to just go to their site and look stuff up. And yeah, they don't include. I don't believe they include Hulu. They don't tell you if it's on Hulu often, but if it's on Funimation and not Anime Labs, it's probably also on Hulu. So it can help out. But yeah, bottom tier. I just dropped off right away. There are some romantic comedy shows this season that I'm more interested in than this one. I would place bottom tier in the not in the bottom tier. Haha. I would place this in if somebody I know and respect a lot tells me this show rules, I'll check it out. Like it's in that camp. Like somebody who I know who also watches be like, "Oh, you should check this out." We'll go there. Cells at Work Code Black. So there's two Cells at Work this season. Cells at Work done by David Production, who did the first season. Two exclamation points. This is season 2 of Cells at Work. Um, and then you've got Cells at Work Code Black, which is done by Linden Films, different studio than the original. Okay, so the two things to talk about this is Code Black is what it sounds like. It's a different body. It's not any of the characters we know from season 1. And it's a body they gender swapped who is the red cell and who is the white blood cell. And the body they're in is bad. Is the person is treating their body poorly. So it's like instead of like a pretty healthy human, this is a not so healthy human, and so things are a lot darker. It is Code Black. I don't. I watched like an episode of this and I was like, meh, I'm all right. I'm still watching Cells at Work. I'm behind on Cells at Work. I haven't watched episode 4 yet. Cells at Work season 2. Um, my biggest note of Cells at Work season 2 is that the new season's opening theme isn't as good as the first season's opening theme. Because that first season's opening theme fucking kicks ass, and this one's like fine. Um, I guess there's a movie, so they don't know how many episodes are going to come out. That's weird. I didn't know that. Uh, oh, okay. So there was a movie that they're going to make episodes, so they're not sure. Uh, Annie Chart isn't sure how many episodes they're going to be. Um, but yeah, I think it's fine. It's more Cells at Work. I think Cells at Work is really earnest in trying to be an anime that's entertaining, but also is like truthful about how the human body works and what the cells do and the other body parts, and like that's cool. I think that's neat. Um, I like that high school science classes across the world gave out cells at work, watching cells at work as homework in like in biology classes, and I think that's just cool. I think that's fun. I like that a lot. Anytime that happens. All right, we gotta get. Well, we could talk about all these, but we're gonna get to our next one here. I made it through 2 episodes of the show. This is Dr. Ramoon's Mysterious Disease Specialist. This is House the Anime with magic. It's Magic House the Anime. So, uh, you got your weird doctor who deals with odd medical things, and he's got a cast of characters, including a guy who's real stern and like doesn't know like doesn't have much of a personality, but he's more of a free spirit. But he's like a weird doctor that handles weird stuff. The first episode, there's a girl that cries condiments because she doesn't remember how she's an actress, a young actress, and she doesn't remember how to cry real tears. But she's been suppressing her real emotions. Uh, and the doctor helps. And I was just like, okay, I don't know. Okay. There's another show that we'll talk about that I was like, is this the same show? Because there was like a blonde-haired guy that's a goof and a serious dark-haired guy. I was like, there's another anime coming up later. I'm like, is this the same show? It's not. Doctor Stone, Stone Wars. The wars are just starting. We're only 3 episodes in because this started a little late in the season. The wars have just begun. The first episode is really just another like goofy episode from the first season. I would say this is not a show that I would recommend you pick up if you haven't watched the first season. Like, don't just start with season 2, Stone Wars. Start with the first season. Um, and yeah, it's it's picking up pace. I think it's good. Like I said, it's only a couple episodes in, so uh, this is another series that like I thought it was going to be a very simple shonen about like three characters exploring this post-apocalyptic prehistoric world. And it is that, but it's also like there's a lot of other characters and a lot of other stuff. And now there's going to be some fighting, and that should be interesting. Um, but yeah, the science in this one isn't necessarily real. It's not cells at work real, but like they try to back it up. I don't know. I've enjoyed it. Senku, the main character over here, is like kind of, how do I put this? He's like an asshole, but like a lovable asshole. He's not a character that is going to grow and change, and you're going to like he's not like I'm coming in like a jerk, but you'll love me by the end. He is like just a genius. He is like literally a genius and a weird guy. Um, but he's doing a lot of stuff for the right reasons. He's also like a little awkward, and I kind of like that. Harrison says watched about 16 episodes of Stone season one, but never got through completing. How'd you feel about it? So, like I said, I thought it was going to be something else. I didn't realize that so much of it was going to be about that village. The payoff to all of the things he's doing to make basically to make a cell phone to compete against this other country of warriors is all really interesting. And I think the other characters really shine through and really make it a fascinating story. So I would say if you liked it, if you were like, nah, you haven't been thinking about it, I understand that. Oh, hey, what's up, bless you? Welcome, welcome. But if you were like thinking about getting caught up on Doctor Stone, I would recommend going back because I think that um, it has a really cool payoff. The last couple episodes of the first season, I think, are really, really strong. Um, okay, so I've ragged on this show so hard. I literally made a YouTube video where I watched like the second episode and cut it up into 6 minutes of me just ragging on this show. I can't believe this thing exists. Visual Flight needs to fly away. It's it's the worst show out this season, but maybe you'll like it because it's not supposed to be funny, but it's hilarious, y'all. It's so funny. Um, it's based on a manga, and the kind of source material is pretty cool. This like X-Arm division was these like prototype things that would like elevate humanity. There are androids. There was this apocalyptic event. This kid didn't see it. He's a brain. He's just a brain now in a box. See that right there. There he is. Akira, I should say, right there. So bad it's good. Yeah, Chihuahua Pugs. Like the first episode. Here's the thing I need to say. This studio has never been an anime before. They have done commercials with some CG. The director has never worked in anime before. He's a fight choreographer turned fight a movie director. Um, and it shows. The voice acting is good because they got good voice actors. Some of it is 2D characters, and then some of it is 3D. They motion captured all of the fight scenes. That's their big thing. But then they didn't like work on it after that, so they just put this like fog effect over things to try to make it look kind of balanced. You can kind of see this here in the trailer. Like I'm not going to play the trailer because I don't want to get demonetized. But can I get this so you can see there? Yeah. If you look in that corner, there's the main character on the right with his 3D digital model, his CGI model, and next to him is a 2D digital animation of his brother. Characters' lips don't move. The fight scenes are all terrible looking. Um, and while I say the voice actors are doing an alright job, they are, but their material they're working with is bad. There's a line in the second episode. They're talking about how like there's this guy who escaped this country, and America didn't want him alive because they want to work with him, but they didn't want to take him in asylum, so they made Japan do it. So the line that this soldier with a straight face says is, "They wanted the booze without the booze." BOOZE BOOS. So a guy said they wanted the booze without the booze. And that's a line of dialogue that was said out loud. It's really fucking terrible. When I saw the trailer, I thought it was I joked that it was a PS1 era demo of a game that was never finished, and that's what it does look like. Boo earns indeed. Um, Also, this is a Crunchyroll original, which means that Crunchyroll helped fund the making of this. There's a few shows that are Crunchyroll originals, and last year, the worst one that came out, and the worst to date Crunchyroll original, was Gibate, which was awful. Um, this is worse in every conceivable way, because at least the music in Gibate was kind of cool. This is not even cool. Holy shit. It's unbelievably terrible. X-Arm. If you just put X-Arm into YouTube, you'll find the trailer, and you'll find a lot of people reacting to the first episode and trailer. It's kind of fun. Um, okay, Get Idol. It is a drama sci-fi show. The sci-fi is just what's going on in it. It is another idol show. I have not watched it. I know nothing about it outside of what it says here. Uh, Something about like it's a thing of like things are fucked, and then there's an idol group, but there's more than meets the eye with the idol group. That's what I can tell you about the show. I have not watched it. Hoods Entertainment is a good name for a company, though. It's a good studio name. Okay, so here is we're getting into some of the shows I really like this season. This is one of my favorite shows. I'm bummed that the audience that votes here it's not higher because Heaven's Design Team is great. This is on Crunchyroll. It is a slice of life. The premise I think is fantastic. God made the heaven and the earth and man, and then got to animals and was like, "This is hard. I'm gonna have some angels do this instead." So there is the Heaven's Design Team is all of these people, and this dude is like an angel that represent God. These are angels, and they're just like their only client is God, and they got to make animals, and God will come up with something like, uh, an animal that doesn't have wings but can fly, and they have to be like, all right, or some with a long neck that eats vegetables, and they're like, okay, um, and you have all these different characters that like different things. Like, there's a girl over here in the middle. She's real cute, but she likes really fucked up weird shit. But says that she likes cute things, but her definition of cute is weird. Um, there's the old guy who created the horse, and the horse is an A plus. It's a home run. So now he's stuck in the mindset of like I gotta make. He just makes horse derivatives, which I think is very fun. There's a guy that likes cute things. There's the guy that likes to eat stuff, so he makes things that he thinks is going to be delicious. The lady who likes doing beautiful things. The guy that likes doing like very like uh, by the book, or I forget exactly what he made the snake. I don't know. I forget his thing. Um, but it's all real animals, and then sometimes they take a break, like where the commercial break would be, and they just like tell you about the animal that's real, and you're like, I didn't know that was a thing. And then sometimes it's just like, oh, that's why. Okay, so this is their inventive reason why this is like this is like okay, great. Okay, yeah, it makes sense that unicorns don't make sense. You can't make a unicorn. Cool, but you could maybe end up making an elephant if you were trying to design this one thing. Like, okay, great. Like, it is. It's fascinating and it's funny. So I really recommend Heaven's Designs Team. I think it's lovely. I got another episode of that coming out tomorrow. It runs on Thursdays, and I want to watch it. I think it's really fun. Uh, Horimiya is a. This is the romantic comedy show this season that I'm watching and loving. Uh, it's based on a manga. There was an OVA that came out. Ooh, we're getting a raid here. Oh, thank you so much, Kunris. Welcome, raiders. This is a very special episode of Pat Bear's streams, the Bear with Build with Bear. Because we're not building. It's Wednesday. We're talking about anime. This is going to go up on my YouTube. I'm talking about the winter anime season. We've been going alphabetical. So if you want to chime in about a show that came out before, hello and welcome. We went through a bunch of stuff here. There's some stuff that's very good. There's some stuff I'm not watching. Um, Hello. If at any point you're watching any of these shows and you want to chime in and chat, you're more than welcome to. If you have a question, if I'm using a term that I haven't identified or haven't like talked about, like if I say this is the Godfather of Isekai, and you're like, I don't know what an Isekai is, feel free to jump in and ask in chat. You're more than welcome to. I just started talking about Horimiya, which is this fucking rules. As I said, there's an OVA out there. I haven't seen the OVA. I haven't read the manga. I'm just watching the anime. Um, but it's pretty it's funny, but it's also like really realistic as far as a high school romantic comedy goes, and like the two main characters not really they're feeling their feelings for the first time. But you have like a very popular girl who's really well put together, but she's actually a really diligent person at home. She helps take care of a younger brother. She doesn't really care about fashion stuff. She actually doesn't know about popular music. She only knows like anime songs because she really spends a lot of time with her younger brother. And then there's the class weirdo, the class outcast, the one that nobody really knows much about. Well, he's like he's got long hair that's always in his face because he also pierced his ears, and he's got tattoos, which are all clearly expressions like, look, this show, because it's probably in the manga and maybe later in the anime we're gonna get into it, but like this dude definitely pierced his ears by himself to feel things because he's just a sad weirdo. But he's also like not an otaku, and he's also like not a genius that people think he might be. He's just like a guy that's like a pretty attractive, nice guy. And they spend a lot of time outside of school, and then they spend some time together in school. There's some love triangles happening. Um, and it's just like, I don't know. I think it's really clever and really sweet, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing this relationship develop. Like, by episode 3, they're expressing their feelings, but hiding, like, how far they're going to go with it. Like the line was, "I love your hands." Like they each said that because they had been talking about their hands, and it's like, okay, all right, let's see where this is going. But they also kind of like drop the whole like, oh, this is the version they see, because the version that they are and the version they present are kind of melding together in a really fun way. Uh, Oh, yeah, Toasty says, may I have to check that one out for myself. Yeah, it's on Funimation and Hulu. I'm watching it on Funimation right now. Um, and yeah, it's like I said, it's pretty down to earth and I think the characters are really well done. Even like this dude here, who is like definitely should be the love rival, he like totally gets caught off guard. Like he wants to hate our main dude Izumi, but he's like, "Oh, you're a real nice guy. I guess we're friends now." Like their big fight in episode 3, they have a pretty big blow up, and I'm not gonna say what happens in the fight. It just doesn't go the way you would expect it to, and it's kind of awesome. Um, yeah, I'm very into it. I think it's one of my favorite shows of the season, especially one of my favorite new shows of the season. I am not watching Horde Tensei Saga. This is based on a video game of which I know nothing about. Um, and yeah, I this just looked generic, like based on some kind of free to play RPG. I assume. I'm not watching it. Um, if it's good, let me know. But that's not what I'm checking out this season. Idol Idly Pride, as I said, I'm not really into the idol programs. I've had a couple that I've liked, but I'm not super into idol shows, so I haven't watched this. Um, uh, but yeah, this also just seemed to be like a very generic idol show. Like there's no big twist to it. It doesn't even have like the sci-fi bent that other one, Genk Idol has. So I was just like, yeah, no. This is not my jam. Uh, I Chew is another idol show, although this one is a more like, instead of just like musical group idol, this is like a lot of different kinds of things. There's a lot of singing, but there's it's a mixed gender, which is interesting. Um, but again, this is based on a video game, which I didn't know, but this is not my jam, so I'm not watching it. Oh, we got another raid here. Thank you, Miles, for the raid. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. This is Pat Bear's Anime Club. I'm talking about the anime shows that are coming out this season. I'm not watching everything, as I just talked about 2 idol shows that I'm not watching. Um, okay, so here's a show. I'm waiting to hear from somebody that this show rules because I've heard the manga is interesting. I've heard that like the main character. This is the show I was talking about before, where it's like we got our blonde-haired main guy and our kind of like nondescript dark-haired guy. But that is where the difference ends. I just uh, wasn't feeling the idea of watching some sort of thing where like young kids get mixed up into supernatural bullshit. I just wasn't feeling it. Um, if this turns out to be awesome, I will definitely go back and watch it. But the first episode, I only watched the first episode, which is on me. I could watch a little bit more, but I didn't end that first episode going, I can't wait for next week. I ended up going, okay. So that's just going around. Um, oh, nice. Miles had a fun board game stream. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it was fun. Um, okay, talking about fun, this is if you were like, Pat, is there a show this season about several ladies who are young, loving an activity and doing that activity and not having any real issues doing the activity that they love? And I would say, yes. There's Laid Back Camp Season 2, which is continuation of Laid Back Camp. Um, if you haven't watched the first season of Laid Back Camp, please. Not every slice of life is a chill anime. And not every chill anime is a slice of life. This happens to be the chillest of chill anime slice of lives. The first season is about how there's a girl that likes camping by herself. She meets another girl that gets interested in camping, but she wants to camp with people. And by the end of that season, 5 of the girls go camping together, and they all have a good time. But Rin, the girl that likes solo camping, still solo camps, and Nadesco is also going to try out solo camping. No one's wrong, and no one needs to get proven wrong. It's just about girls finding out the camping rules. And the first season of Laid Back Camp did so well in Japan that tourism around Mount Fuji increased and camping went up. It's such a good anime that people were like, oh yeah, camping. I should do that. That's the mark of a great show if it changes the culture even briefly. And I love that. In this second season, we only had a few episodes in, but we're getting some flashbacks to some of the characters. We're continuing the story. We're going to see it literally picks up right where the last season left off, which I think is fantastic. There's no time jump or anything. And also, episode 2 of season 2 of Laid Back Camp features a reference to Initial D. And of any show this season or this year, if you told me that there was a show that was going to make an Initial D reference, I would not have guessed that it was going to be Laid Back Camp. I would have figured it would be another comedy show that makes anime references a lot that we'll talk about briefly that's coming up in a few letters. But I wouldn't have guessed it would have been this one. Laid Back Camp. It's 2021 and you deserve a good anime to relax and watch and just be like cozy vibes and maybe learn a little bit about camping. And also the show loves food. It is such a love letter to food you cook yourself and food you find in other places. You deserve Laid Back Camp. I know you do. So watch it. LBX Girls is the other mecha show this season, kind of. It's more exosuit kind of show. Have not watched it. It's based on a video game. The premise, is this technically an isekai because they're girls traveling to a different alternate Japan? I guess this is technically an isekai, so I should watch it because I do watch all the isekais. For those that don't know, isekai means different world. It is literally um, just someone either dies and is reborn somewhere else or travels to another place. That's the whole gist of it. You've got your shows like, and then there's also the subgenre of entering a video game world. Um, I had a really fun. Oh no, sorry, I was reading Miles' old tweet or old chat message. So I was like, wait, somebody said something. It wasn't. You said that before. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to be watching LBX Girls. Uh, I hope people who are watching it like it. All right. Log Horizon. Speaking of being trapped inside a video game, I have not. I am not caught up on this show. Uh, I stopped somewhere in season 2, and I don't remember where. This is a thing that I'm probably going to marathon through at the end of the season when like all the shows are wrapping up and the new season hasn't started yet. This is when I'm going to get caught up on Log Horizon. That's my guess anyway, because I got to go back to season 2. If you ever watched Sword Art Online and you wished that they dealt more with the day-to-day minutia of being in that world, like Sword Art Online basically is just like, here's the premise, and now let's cut forward when everyone's figured everything out, and then we'll just get into the battles. Um, this show, the first season in particular, was just like, oh, we all woke up living inside this video game, and we can't get out. Huh, how does that work? And you watch the process of how that works. I think it's really well told. I think the characters are really interesting. As I said, I have not watched this season yet, so I can't judge on this season. But I guess I should watch the second season, finish it up, and watch this. I probably will by the end of this anime season, before the new stuff, before the spring season. Um, I don't know anything about this. This is not picked up by anybody. All episodes have aired. Or no, I guess 12 episodes are going to air on the 25th of February. So that comes out next month. I've always wished that that about Sword Art. This sounds good. Oh, Julie. Hi, Julie. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, Log Horizon is the like there's a whole episode about like food doesn't taste good there. Nobody enjoys food. There's no economy. Uh, Characters don't like they die and they come back. So maybe there's an issue. What's going on? What? How do we deal with the NPCs of this world? Like, what do we do? It's a lot of that, which I think is really fun. I have not watched this. It's coming out next month. I don't know if anyone's gonna pick it up, but I do like slice of lives. Uh, uh, and it's daily life of a caterer working for people that she didn't get to become a performer in. So it's a it's the life of a cater waiter, I guess. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to pick that up. It sounds like all the episodes are going to come out next month, so I don't know. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Uh, okay, so jobless reincarnation. This is one of the isekai this season. This is hard to. Okay, there's another show this season that's a postmodern anime, and by postmodern I mean it takes isekai. It takes all of the knowledge, modern take on isekai, and it puts it on its head. It spins it a little bit. I'll go back and explain a little bit about this. So, the different world anime genre, the manga, the light novel, the web novel genre, traces its roots back to um, Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland was a popular the Japanese translation of Alice in Wonderland was very popular in Japan and kind of spread this idea of like a young heroine traveling to another world. There's also some Chinese stories that also deal with that. It's not saying Alice in Wonderland created that. I'm just saying it popularized it. The first isekai that did not use that name, the different world genre, were mostly female leads. Your Fushigi Yugis, your Escaflones, your Inuyashas. Lady travels to a different world, stuff happens there. The modern isekai, as we know it, where a guy, a main dude, dies or is transported to another world and is overpowered, it has a eventually develops having a harem. Um, things go magically go very easy for them, or strength wise go very easy for them. But there's other conflicts that happen. They are often somewhat perverted, if or outright perverted. All of these tropes that when you think of isekai, these are the things you think of: this power fantasy, male empowerment, harem. My knowledge of Earth means I have an advantage here, kind of thing. All of those tropes start here with Jobless Reincarnation, a web novel turned manga turned anime from the year 2012. This and Sword Art Online popularized the genre as we know it today. And then when people play with that idea, like, well, what if you're a slime? What if it's a comedy and you're a girl and you know what's going on? What if it's a dating game instead of a video game? Um, and all the various other incarnations. What if you're a pro wrestler and you don't want to go on the main quest? You just want to open a pet store. All of the. What if you're. Yeah, like. What if you're a spider? What if you're a spider? All of these changes to it, the postmodernness of it, the we're done with all this other stuff. Let's play in the space. All that comes because this show was so this web novel turned light novel turned manga turned anime was so popular that people were like, I got to make me one of those. And what ends up happening is because this series, Jobless Reincarnation, started the trend, it hasn't learned from the mistakes it makes. And the biggest mistake this show makes, in my opinion, is that Rudy sucks. This fucking dude, the dude he was in real life sucks, and he sucks. She's cool. She's cool. I haven't met her yet. I bet she's tsundere because she's got red hair, and I'm like, and this is definitely where that's going to start. You got the girl that's definitely in love with him that was presented as a boy and has dealt with a lot of hardship, but she's a good person. You got the girl that's really overpowered. She's super strong, but she teaches him magic, and she's like, oh well, you don't need to learn anything from me. I'll see you later, I'm sure. Uh, he's born as a baby with all his memories, which they skip in other isekai. Um, he's a pervert, which they other isekai kind of play down a little bit. They also make them a little sexless. Um, and they, in most modern isekai dudes, are unaware that they're suddenly in a harem. This dude is actively like, oh, this is my childhood friend. We'll see if this develops into a relationship later. And you're like, I hate you. Does he get better? I don't know. Also, he does get hit by a bus. If you want to know where the cliche of getting hit by a bus and then being reborn in another world is, here you go. You can blame Jobless Reincarnation. Also, it's beautifully animated. It's gorgeous. The magic in this show is breathtaking. It's one of the most beautiful shows this season. I wish I loved it. But I am interested in seeing where it goes. That's where we're at. Truck-chan is busy this season. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's an isekai. We don't even know how these people died, but they all died. There's an isekai coming up we'll talk about in a little bit. Here's the comedy show that I assumed if any show was going to have a initial D reference, it'd be this one, because they've already had references to other anime, including JoJo, in previous seasons. I don't. You could honestly, you could just start watching this if you want to watch Nanyan. If you want to watch this show, you could just pick up right where it's on Crunchyroll and High Dive. You could just jump right in and Verve. You could just jump right in, watch it right away. No reason to watch the other seasons. It is a slice of life comedy show where pauses and then deadpan reactions are like the norm. Uh, this is like a bunch of characters, some who grew up in uh, this kind of this school that like is so small that like everybody's together. It's like a one schoolhouse thing, a tiny little town on the edge of nowhere. Um, and there's some new people that move in early in this show. Now there's a new character that comes in, and that kind of changes things up. But it's like goofy, weird girls with a lot of free time on their hands, and what happens when you have a lot of free time on your hands and cell reception's bad, and you got to make your own fun. Um, it occasionally is very touching. It often is very silly. Um, I'm kind of just like slowly watching this. I'm like an episode behind, but I'm really enjoying what I've watched so far. Uh, yeah, totally cool. Um, hey, if you were like Pat, you've been talking for like an hour. How come you haven't talked about? Is there no gay show this season? Where are the gay shows? Here's the gay show for you. If you're looking for a gay show, and you don't mind that it's a mystery sci-fi show that's kind of dark and not great, well then check out Other Side Picnic. Um, okay, how do I say this? You can go to Other Side if you want. If you know how to get there, you can open the doors and go to another world. And there are a bunch of different ones. And some people do that. They travel between the two worlds. The thing is that a lot of one of the other sides that most of these characters are inhabiting, most of the show is about. There are monsters that are from creepy pastas and urban legends and internet memes. So, and also, it's fucked up. A lot of the characters have guns. There's a thing where the two main girls over here are definitely getting into one another. And the show, while not, it's not subtext, but it's not blatant, but it is a love story. There's a love story in this. Um, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not watching it because the first episode I was like, nope, 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 nope. I nope out at horror. Um, and so yeah, I noped out on this one. Maybe you'll love it, but no, thank you. But yeah, if you're looking for that gay shit, this is that gay shit. Um, okay, let's talk about ReZero. Now, I didn't come to love ReZero until 2020. It was one of the shows I marathoned. I had brushed it off in previous times because Subaru is really annoying. And you know what it is? I was at the stage of my isekai life where I really didn't care about a non-powered main character. I was looking for overpowered main character shows because I like those. They're easy to watch and light. So I wasn't super into the idea of Subaru and his no power have an ass. But this show's good, and I'm rooting for him. And the premise of like rewinding, like your death rewinding to an abstract time so you can get things right, and what does that mean? It's pretty fucking cool. I'm into it. Uh, do I think you should watch ReZero? Go back to season one and then get caught up because this is the second half of season two? No, I don't know. I don't know, but I like it. I think all the supporting characters are really fun. The action's really good. We're getting into some real heady shit happening right now. Some real sad stuff is happening. Well, I'm a big fan. Um, okay, I'm not a fan of this. I can't believe that High Dive picked this up. High Dive, so you can watch it if you have a Verve account or if you have an High Dive account. Okay, so this is the show that if you told me we're just hanging out somewhere, we're in a chat room here on a Discord and we're doing voice chat and we're talking back and forth and people are saying, "Oh, what are you watching this season? What are you watching this season?" And you say, "Well, I have heard yes." And you lean and you go, "Well, my favorite show this season is Redo of Healer." I would say that's not a thing that you should tell people about. If this is your steez, enjoy your steez, but maybe don't tell people. Um, Here's what I will tell you. This anime was aired at 3 broadcast censorship levels: a TV version, a streaming exclusive redo version, and an uncensored complete healing version, also translated as complete recovery, shown on ATX. So that should give you an indication of what's going on here. Premise is in a fantasy world, there is a pecking order between uh, the warriors and the mages that use healing abilities, right? Uh, if you're a healer, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. You are just healing the party. Often, you do not want to be part of this party. And our main character was abused, and I'm not making light of that. He was abused. Uh, Depending on which version of the anime you're watching, he was abused quite a bit, or it's referenced that he was. Well, he defeats the big bad, granting him a wish, and he wishes to change the world to give him the opportunity to get his revenge. And his revenge is not pretty, it's not justice, it's vengeance. And this is torture porn and porn. And that's about as much as I want to say. Yeah. I was very surprised that High Dive picked this up. I thought no one would pick this up, and you would just see it appear, and someone would, fan sub it. Um, yeah. So that's the show. That's out this season. If you looked at this photo and you were like, oh, it's another action isekai, or it's another fantasy epic, you wouldn't be wrong to think that. But yeah, I would not recommend that show. Scar and the Praetor. I have not watched any of this. Yeah, Harrison, I would definitely, yeah, I would say that that's probably accurate. That it's a little bit like, it's like instead of like Kill Bill, yeah, because it's revenge. It's kind of like the the last third of Hostel, if it was porny. Yeah, I think that might be more that. Uh, so yeah, no thanks. Scar on the Prettier. I don't know anything about this. The animation of this, yes, indeed. The animation of this looked fine, but I don't know anything about it. It looks very generic. I have not watched a second of it. I cannot tell you anything about Scar on the Prettier. Uh, Show by Rock Stars. I've never watched any of Show by Rock. This is the 3rd season. Stars. I've not watched any of it. I can't tell you anything about Show by Rock other than it's another idol show, and those aren't my jam. Um, I just fucking love. I just love the. I love everything about this except I haven't watched it, and I don't think I ever will. I love the idea. One of the things I love most about anime, Studio Bones. Yes, one of the things I love most about anime is that if you love something, there's an anime about it, or maybe just a manga, or there's a light novel. So if you're really into competitive urban skateboarding, they made an anime for you, and it's called Skate the Infinity. They call it S, and I love that the skaters are especially wild about the beefs. The beefs. It's just great terminology. And there's a guy who's there's a guy who like doesn't know anything about skating, gets pulled into the world and turns out to be great. And it it's just, what if you took illegal skateboarding very seriously. The anime. It's well liked by Anichart. The users of Anichart are into it. I haven't watched any of it. What's it on? Funimation. Maybe I'll watch an episode of Skate. Maybe it's the thing that I've been missing all my life. I'm literally gonna write down. Maybe I'll check out Skate. Skate. Because I don't know. Maybe I'll love Skate. The Infinity. I don't know, but like I said, I'm not much of a sports anime guy, but yeah, it's Bones, and it's a funny idea. I don't know. I just like the idea there's grown men that do it, and that just makes me laugh. Um, Skate Leading Stars. I have not watched any of Skate Leading Stars. Competitive ice skating. I've got my competitive ice skating, and it's not this one. Uh, so I'm a spider. So what? This is the other isekai of the season. Um, the spider's right over here. You can't really see the spider, unfortunately, because of the English there. So this is a weird one. It's a postmodern isekai. Um, the main character uh, is a high school girl, kind of a loner. She dies. We don't know why. She wakes up. She's a spider. What the fuck? Um, she's in like a labyrinth, like a tough labyrinth. Meanwhile, everybody else, all these other motherfuckers over here, including the teacher who from the class, they're all dead too, and they show up, and they're reborn as young people with amazing powers. They're all human, with the exception of this girl who is an earth dragon, and she was the bully. So she got reincarnated as a dragon, or earth dragon, where everybody else got to be people. Um, so the show cuts between the spider trying to survive and being really silly. She talks to herself a lot. It's kind of fun. She's enjoyable. And this serious isekai. So this dude is like, he's living in the shadow of his older brother in this world. He's got a younger sister who's clearly in love with him. Um, this was a gentleman, a young boy who's now a girl in this world, so they're dealing with that. This dude sucks. Um, I don't know her yet. Oh yeah, she's losing her mind, I think. She's not dealing well with being there. So they're in a drama fantasy isekai, like kind of a traditional isekai. Meanwhile, this girl is a spider, and she's sometimes CGI and sometimes digital, and a lot of the monsters she fights are digital. Um, but she's evolved a couple times into different spiders, and I think she's going to keep evolving. Uh, it's weird, y'all. It's real weird. I really like it. Um, there's a reference to her wanting to be like Spider-Man, which I think is fantastic. Like she doesn't say Spider-Man, she says um, New York neighbor, friendly New York neighbor, and then she's like clearly blue and red in her mind, like web spinning around. It's good. It's weird. I'm kind of into it. Uh, yeah. I am not watching the second season of Sorcerer's Stabber Orphan. In my opinion, Sorcerer's Stabber Orphan did not need to get remade because it. I watched like 5 episodes of the first season, which was a remake of the original. There was an anime and then a video game way back in the day. And then they remade the anime. They redid it, and it didn't need to get remade because it's very of its time. Like its humor doesn't land. Um, it I think the art's fine, but it's not a really compelling story. I do like that the dub, the same voice actor of Orphan, came back to do the voice again. I think that's cool. I do think that's cool, but I'm not super into this particular show. Uh, so that's where I'm at with Orphan. I just, yeah, not not watching this one. Um, so this is a weird one. Suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. Suppose a kid from the last Boonies, Dungeon Boonies, I should say, moved to a starter town. The premise of this fucking kicks ass. It's a fun adventure comedy about Lloyd, he is the weakest person in his village, but his village is filled with mythical beings. They're not humans. They're another race. And they're all really strong. So even though he's the weakest person in his village, he is amazingly strong. He shows up in the starter town, like where adventurers would begin, really overpowered, but doesn't have any self-confidence. He's like, oh, I can't beat monsters. He can beat monsters, but he believes the things he's fighting are just insects and animals. He's like, oh, the first time I had to fight a demon, I was really scared. That was a demon lord that he defeated. So, like, he doesn't realize how strong he is. And there's comedy in that. The thing about this show is that it's based on a light novel, and we got 4 episodes done at the time of this recording. And in those 4 episodes, an entire 9 chapters of the light novel happened. They sped through it. It's kind of funny because Lloyd could do that. Basically, the first show is like, hey, what's going on in this world? And what's the plot? The second episode is like, hey, here's the things that are happening in this, the drama that would happen several episodes later. The third episode is, here's the twist of who the villain is, and then the secondary twist of who the real villain is, which should be episode, like, 11. And then episode 4 is the 2-part episode 12 and 13 of the epic fight that really just takes the whole episode. And then it ends, by the end of episode 4, you can end the show. So they're just like going into what should be season 2 by episode 5. Protagonist looks like a little like Link from Zelda. Yeah, he's got a little bit of Link energy. He's a good little boy. He's a fun guy. But yeah, so there's a comedy. Now, are there characters in this show that I really like? I like Lloyd a lot. I like Mari, the witch, who's got a past, which we find out very early in the show. I forget her name, but I like her. She's the kind of the voice of reason in the show. She realizes that Lloyd is powerful. She knows the ridiculous nature of other people. She's money obsessed. That's her thing. And she's got a metal arm. But she's a mercenary turned Rio, I think maybe her name is. Yeah, she's a mercenary. This girl sucks. So she got cursed, and these belts that she has, which are this ancient weapon, were covering her face because they were protecting her. But it caused her some sadness, clearly. And then Lloyd, not knowing he was doing this, like, cleaned her face with his, like, handkerchief, which has a ancient rune on it that he uses for cleaning, but that ancient rune is disenchant, which is a thing that very few people in the world can do. So he disenchants and basically breaks the curse. And now she's got, like, this cool thing that, like, kind of does what she wants and helps her out. It's her defense. So she thinks that Lloyd is her savior, and so she is yandere about him, and it's my least favorite part of the show. The young-looking head of Lloyd's village, who also wants to date him, is also kind of weird. Yeah, so it's good. I want it to be excellent, and it's not excellent. It's just good. It's better than the percentage it's got here. Maybe 70% would be right. But the choice to like speed through it tells me that Linden Films doesn't think they're going to get a second season, so they're just like, we'll just do all of it. And that's weird. But I would overall say watch the first episode, see if you like it. The second season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Okay, so we're just now in episode 3 starting to tweak a little bit that this is not going to be the comedy that this show normally is. We're just kind of tweaking the fact that all the promotional art for this season has been them in military garb, very fascist-looking military garb. But the opening song is light and fluffy. And the first couple episodes, there's like a little bit of indication that something bad's going to happen, but it's mostly just like, hey, we met these characters. Now we're going to fight, but it's just to see if we're strong. Um, and then like, oh, we're gonna go meet the dwarves, and we're gonna return to the elves who work at a hostess club, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. And Pat's not gonna like that part of the episode. Uh, we're gonna check in with the kids from the end of the first season. You're like, okay, I think this gets dark, and this is so basically my thought is this half is gonna be light. So this season, winter season, we get the first half of the show, which I believe is 12 or 13 episodes. I can't remember. Then we're going to get a break where we're going to see the Chibi joke series, the Diaries, and then we're going to get the second half of the season. So my thought is it probably doesn't get super dark, although there is a woman who's going undercover to infiltrate Rimuru kingdom. So if you like the first season, well, first, if you like the first season, you should watch OVAs 3, 4, and 5, which are available on Crunchyroll. OVAs 3, 4, and 5 are canon. They matter to the story. OVAs 1 and 2 are bullshit. One of them is just terrible fan service and is literally a dream. And then the other one is like fine, but doesn't really mean anything. But episodes 3, 4, and 5 are canon. So you want to watch episodes 3, 4, and 5 of the OVA, then you can watch season 2. If you liked season 1, watch those. I don't know what else to tell you. The hidden dungeon only I can enter. I watched the first half of the first episode of this and realized I didn't want to watch it. Look, do I think this is as bad as Redo Healer? No, fucking no, of course not. Do I think that this is kind of gross and weird? Yeah. Um, Basically, a guy gets access to cool powers and abilities um, at the cost of he needs to replenish his mana by doing things like eating great food and being etchy with his childhood girl friend, best friend, and um, he's training in a dungeon where there is this person that will train him. It's chained there. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um, Look, like I said, yeah, this isn't for me. If this is for you, look, if this is for you, you're already watching the hidden dungeon only I can enter. Um, and yeah, so I'm not gonna watch it. I don't think it's as bad as Redo Hero Healer, but I'm not interested in it, and we'll move on. Um, so here's the best show this season that I'm not watching because I can't handle it is The Promised Neverland season 2. I watched one whole episode of Promised Neverland. I know it's great. It was one of the best shows the year it came out. But I know this about myself that this thing where death is hanging over the lives of these kids, I can't with it. I just know this about myself that I'm the tension I would be feeling as I watch this. I just have no interest in. So I'm not gonna. And we'll move on. If you liked Promised Neverland, watch season 2. Quintessential Quintuplets 2. So I don't think this is a good show, but it's a fine show. It's about quintuplets, and they are all very bad at school. They are all not good students, and a very straight-laced, book-oriented, nerdy dude becomes their tutor. Uh, he's responsible. The reason why he's good at studying is because he is very poor, and his parents and or his family's in debt, and he has a younger sister he cares about a lot, and he has to do right by her. So he needs to, and if he's going to tutor these girls, he wants them to get good grades because he comes to appreciate them because they do often work hard. A thing to note is all of these girls look identical in the real world, in the anime and in the manga, to make things easier for you, the audience, to watch, they have different hairstyles, but they are identical quintuplets. So even though their hair is dyed and their hairstyles are dyed, there's jokes where they come in and pose as each other. Like one girl wears basically one girl wears headphones, and that's kind of how you could tell her apart. But they do this stylistically, so you can tell these girls, their personalities are very different. Um, Also, one of these girls, as a young girl, um, before she had her big personality, when they're all very similar, met the dude and changed his life. And she's starting to remember that that's him. He doesn't put it together until this season, which I can't understand how he couldn't put it together. This girl that he remembers that changed his life and set him down the path here is one of these girls. Um, but yeah, I mean it's a weird comedy, romantic comedy show with some drama in it. The characters are likable in their own way. Even the one I don't like, there's one girl I like the least of them, but I still like her. Um, there's a lot of best girls in the show. I think it's fun. I think the first season's worth picking up if you're looking for a romantic comedy show. Is it better than Horiyama or Horima? No, Horimiya, I should say. Horimiya is the best show of the season for romantic comedy. This one's fine. The Seven Deadly Sins, Dragon's Judgment. I'm going to assume that this is out in Netflix in Japan, but isn't out in Netflix in the US because I haven't seen a bunch of clips on this on YouTube yet, and I was expecting to see clips of this on YouTube, but maybe it is. Uh, but I'm way behind. This is the fourth season of Seven Deadly Sins. I think I watched the first season and the movie or the OVA, so I'm not the right person to talk about this show. Uh, I think he gets less horny as the show goes on, which is fun. I don't know. Uh, okay, it's out in the U.S. Netflix. Okay, Dirty. Thank you, Dirty, for that. Also, hi. Yeah. True season two cooking Master Boy season two. The first season of this, I believe, came out years and years ago. It's a very old anime that I think they eventually started putting out in Crunchyroll before the second season. I haven't watched it. Can't tell you anything about it. I mean, I can tell you a little bit about it. It's about a cooking boy. That's about it. Um, I did not watch the first season of Umarasume Pretty Derby. Uh, this is a slice of life sports drama slash comedy about girls that run track but are also horses. So it's about horse racing and team and solo horse racing. But what if the horses were girls? Uh, and I don't have anything else to tell you about it. I didn't like the first 2 or 3 episodes I watched, so I stopped watching in the first season. Um, but yeah, it's a sports slice of life, but horse girls. Uh, Wix's Diva Alive is another idol thing that I have not watched that is based on a card game. Game will inspire to become the avatars themselves. Diva Battle allows 3 players a team to compete against each other and most selected fans. Some are idol themed, while others are DJ and band themed. Oh, you mean also idol themed? Yeah, I have not watched any moments of this. I don't know anything about it. It's a genre I don't really fuck with. Um, Here is the best named show that I am not watching this season. Wonder Egg Priority. This also might end up being that queer shit that people are into, and myself included. But it's also horror and mystery and psychological. The term Wonder Egg is real weird. I'm kind of into it. Uh, yeah. Some kind of magic, but the horror element makes me go, no thanks, because that's not my jam. Second season of World Trigger. This is so weird. There's going to be 13 episodes of World Trigger. There are 70 something episodes of season 1, and it lasted like 3 years. Over the course of 3 years, this show happened. The mangaka got really sick and stopped doing anything, and then picked up World Trigger years later after long health issues. So then Toei is like, yeah, we're going to put out the second season of World Trigger. Uh, like, I don't remember anything about it except like this nerdy dude and this dude who's he's one of the nemesis, the bad guys, but he's not the monster version. He's not a bad guy. He's like a fun little guy, Kuga. And there's a girl that you can't really see in this. She's a sniper. She's a sweetheart of a sniper. And the first, almost all of the first season was them just like in school trying to get better at being the protectors they're trying to be. And then like war happened. And I don't know. I'm not watching any of World Trigger season 2 because I don't remember if I finished the first season. It's kind of cool it's back. We still have leftovers. We'll get into the shorts and then we'll get into the leftovers. Some of these shorts aren't out here. Some of them are. I'll quickly go through this. I never watched Zerlane, so I'm not watching the Chibis. I did watch Bungo Stray Dogs, but I'm not watching the Chibis of this. Maybe I will when it's all done. I'll go through it because it's shorts. Uh, yeah, nobody has Petite Mix, but that's fine. Um, Idols is out, but I'm not watching that. Because yeah, I'm not into Idol shows. I would watch this if there was an English version of it. It's a dog whose father disappears, so he goes on a journey to find his dad. It's a cool idea. Uh, I don't know anything about this except there's some kind of creature and a little cat with spots on its head. That's cool. Why isn't this available in the United States? How come? How dare no company pick this short up? Mole cars. They're guinea pigs who are also cars. How is this not an anime that I could watch with English subtitles legally? I have a Funimation account. I have a Crunchyroll account. How can I legally not watch Pui Pui Mole Car? I want to watch Mole Car, damn it. It's mole animation filled with I think it's supposed to be cute, but whatever. Friendship, adventure, and furry action. How dare you? There's a YouTube link, but that YouTube link is only you can't watch it in our region here in the United States. Can't watch the YouTube thing. It doesn't happen. I'm gonna have to try to illegally find a way to watch this because it's adorable looking. Damn it! Makes me so mad. I don't get to watch Mole Car. Um, Witches Take Off. I'm not watching because I didn't watch anything that this is from. Uh, I think this is girls who are pilots, and this is like but these also might be girls who are planes. That also could be what this show is. Japanese ghost stories. I have a lot of appreciation for Yamashibai, but it's not for me. But if you didn't know that season 8 was out, you can watch that. Also, the live action versions of season 1 are also available on Crunchyroll, so you can go watch those. Um, I'm I don't remember what happened in season 2, so I'm not watching season 3 of Yatagome-chan. It's a lot of jokes about the region they live in, and I don't know anything about that region, so it kind of falls flat. But it's cute. All right. Sorry, I gotta drink some water. I'm talking nonstop here. Folks that have been watching my streams or my YouTube content know I've talked about this before. I will quickly say this. Higurashi When They Cry 2020. This is the second half of the season. The first half came out last year. They pitched it as Higurashi When They Cry 2020, a remake of Higurashi When They Cry, which is an anime based on a visual novel series and it's psychological. You've probably seen anime clips of it on YouTube compilation sites or YouTube compilation anime things, where it's like, what happens when you when you bully an anime. Bullies get theirs. An anime 3. Probably seen it. And they were like, we're gonna do a remake of it. It's gonna be it's a recreation, faithful remake based on that with new animation in the year 2020. And that sounds great. And then in a couple episodes in, the name changed from Higurashi When They Cry to Higurashi When They Cry, or 2020 to Higurashi When They Cry Gao. And it's not the first show with new animation, a remake. It's a sequel, and the events of that show happened, and it's restarted, and one of the characters knows how it worked out and knows that she is in the wrong world. And I don't want to watch it, but that fucking rules. That kicks so much ass. They were just like, oh, psych, it's not a remake. It's a sequel reimagining. Here you go. That rules. I don't want to watch it, but it rules. Jujutsu Kaisen, and we got another good boy. We got a good boy right here. Yuji is just a motherfucking good boy. He's part of the good boy shonen club. Super strong guy with good sense of justice. Nice dude. Gets mixed up in the world of fighting curses. He eats a curse. She should die. He's like, hey, before I die, let me kill a bunch of curses, and then I'll die. This second half of the season here, because it's 2 halves, we're in episode 16 right now at the time of this recording. We are now in the fighting tournament arc, but it's a group battle instead of one-on-one, which is a great way to introduce a bunch of characters, have there be stakes, have there be a lot of cool fights, but also make it not necessarily the same kind of fighting tournament thing. So I appreciate that. Also, there's a panda named Panda. He's a panda man. I don't know why. There's also a guy that is called a robot that seems to be some sort of android. I don't know anything about him. I believe his name is Mekaru. So, you know. But I always like to mention there's a panda named Panda. Also, this dude with the blindfold on is definitely very strong and goofy. And it's silly. It's got a lot of heart. It's very fun. And yeah, it's pretty damn good. Thumbs up. So, I did not watch the first half of King's Raid, Successors of the Will. I don't know why this show got 26 episodes. It is the most generic RPG based on a video game anime. I don't know why it got a double length for an original series, because it's not even the events of the anime, or the events of the video game. It's an original story set in the world of the video game. I've never watched Mr. Osamatsu, ever. The closest thing I've watched ever to this is the brothers showed up in the background because Studio Pierrot also does Black Clover. These guys showed up in a background scene in Black Clover. That's the closest I've ever gotten to watching the show. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. With a dog and a cat every day is fun. This is a beautiful anime. Fucking great. It's going to be 24 episodes. I didn't know it was going to be 24 episodes. I thought it was going to be 12. And then I realized, oh no, there's more. It's 2 minutes. It's a short little show. There's a lady, and she's got a dog and a cat. The dog is really silly, and the cat is really dark but lovable, but also a cat. The cat is voiced by a voice actor who his entire career he has just played like sergeants or captains of the police force or Yakuza members. He's a real deep voice guy playing this cat, and the dog is like just goofy and silly. And it's just like every couple episodes, like episode 3 and episode like 6 or 7, there's a real heartfelt episode, like a real sad tearjerker of an episode. But then the next one's just like, hey, it's fun. Um, they also did a very cute thing where the show took a week off around Christmas, and they planned it out so the episode that they came back with was about how the owner had gone away for a week, and so I thought that was very cute, and that just ended up working out. Very fun, lovely little slice of life. Highly recommend. With a dog and a cat, every day is fun. It's on Crunchyroll. It's great. Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. So unlike Boruto, where you really need to know what the fuck happened in Naruto, and they spend every minute trying to explain, this show, if you know what happened in Inuyasha, it helps because it's Inuyasha's daughter uh, uh, and like the Sesshomaru's twin daughters, and there's like other kids and sons and daughters of characters um, uh, dealing with stuff. So like knowing is helpful, but you can also just enjoy it for like a cool like ace lady, like a lady who's leaning non-binary, who's like just fucking cool, and like a a weird combination of Inuyasha and Kagome. Like a quarter demon, dog demon girl who can shoot arrows and also use the sword, and then like kind of like Sesshomaru's like daughter who doesn't really show her emotions. It's just cool, but it's not great. There's a little girl that's really annoying that's in too many episodes, but I'm psyched it exists. I'm psyched it's out there. Movie stuff. I haven't seen any of the movies that are come out. I do want to eventually see the Sailor Moon movies. I hope they do come out licensed in the U.S. and I can watch them. Um, Gintama, I'm not watching Gintama. Uh, I do like that they were like, we're making a movie, and then we're going to make a TV special called The Semifinal, which is just a way to prepare you for the movie. And I think that's cool. Um, but yeah, I haven't watched any of these movies. Uh, there's some chibi stuff in here. Some of the OVAs and specials. I haven't seen any of this. Allison Deadly School is a cool premise. I don't know if this is going to be like there's going to be more of it. It's kind of an interesting premise. Uh, this is an anime. I don't know what this is an OVA. This is straight up anime. This is a. I didn't watch the first season. It it's kind of like what if you ran a shop in an RPG? What about the characters that work there? It's a little dirty, but also not terribly dirty. It's fine. Uh, I want to see this. I didn't see the any of these shorts yet. They're on the Blu-rays for Kuma 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 Bear. So Kuma 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 Bear was a in Isekai last season. The shorts, the chibis, were called Bear 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 Kuma, which is very good. Um, and I guess they made some other shorts that weren't online that are going to be part of the Blu-ray DVDs. And I'm hoping that someone puts those up because also there's a mecha apparently, and I want to see a bear robot. I want to see this bear robot. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled. Um, Cute Executive Officer. Cute Executive Officer is a chibi a short series like little 2-minute episodes. But it's on High Dive, and they put all of them together as a 27-minute thing, which does not work as well as watching 2 minutes of the idea of a little girl who is the CEO of a company and the wackiness that happens there. Because like after like 10 minutes, I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. But every week I would have watched it and loved it. So I would say if you're going to pick it up, you can watch it on High Dive and just take breaks. Um, I have not watched the OVA to I tried asking while kowtowing. That is a dirty show. It's all in first person. The guy who begs girls to look at them. So I've watched the OVA for that. No, I'm not watching that. There was just one for that on on Fire Force. No, I'm not watching those. Yeah, that was the semifinal, which was a special to tie it into the movie. High Rise Invasion. It's kind of cool idea, but I haven't checked it out. Um, but basically, it's like, yeah, it's a deadliest game thing uh, that seems kind of interesting, but I have not checked it out. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it sounds awesome. But it hasn't come out in the U.S. Chibi, I'm home, Chibi Godzilla. This is a cute idea. I don't know anything about this. Snow Globe. I don't know what this is. I would like to see these in English. I'm hoping that someday they do come out with English subtitles. Um, but it's the Chibi uh, side series, to ReZero. And then Vlad Love is coming out in. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's picking this up. Um, but this is like a romantic comedy supernatural thing about a girl that loves giving blood who meets a vampire. And then various other shit happens. And this sounds fucking kind of weird and kind of cool. I've seen a clip of this. And then, yeah, the Vlad Love YouTube channel has like the first episode. Uh, and then I guess it's just like, I don't know if it's going to be a series or there's one. Yeah, it is going to be a series. But I don't know if anyone's picking it up because it's not coming out until sometime in February. That's a lot, and that's all I'm watching. Streamers, we're going to talk for a little bit more, but I'm going to end this YouTube video with saying I don't know what my next Pat Bear's Anime Club episode is going to be about, but it'll be up in 2 weeks on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Thanks for watching this. Leave me a note in the comments what you're watching this season, and let me know in the comments below what I should be checking out. If you've watched anything that I'm not watching, and ideas for future videos, please let me know.